I first saw him on a village in the Greek countryside, recently abandoned and looking around, searching for a safe place, for someone to make him feel welcomed. I passed him by crying, because there were so many like him there that I didn't realize how special he was. For the next 10 days, we were there. We would spend all day on the beach, and in the evenings we would go have dinner at the village. And he was always there. Always. It was impossible for me to ignore him anymore. From the first moment I looked at him, he started following me around, as if he was asking, "Are you the one?" Every night I would feed him and sit with him for a while. And when you feed a hungry dog, you become his human. So walking away after he has trusted and believed in you is the most difficult of all things about rescue. I had already decided to bring back Lou this summer, the stray dog I had spent my vacation with on the beach. So when I came back for Lou, I also looked for him in the village the morning before we left. But he was nowhere to be found. Lou and I came back to Athens, so I forgot about that young, loving boy in the village that I used to feed. Or at least I thought I had forgotten about him. 3 weeks went by, dogs kept coming and going, but as busy as I was, every night before going to bed, I would only think about him, about the dog I had left behind, wondering where he might be right now, if he has had enough leftovers to satisfy his hunger, if he is safe, if he is alive. One Sunday I just couldn't take it anymore. I took one of my dogs and drove back again. 5 hours later we were there. I started looking for him outside every restaurant. For the stray dogs, our feeding time is also theirs. It's the only time they get to sit patiently in front of the restaurant's customers, wait for some leftovers that may never come. And there he was, sitting like a good boy outside a fast food place, looking at people in the eye, people that couldn't care less if he hadn't had a good meal in days. I bought a pizza from the store and called him, and he followed me to the car as if he was waiting for me all his life. And you know what? Maybe he was. Maybe he didn't hesitate, not even for a second, as he let me put the collar and the leash on, get him into the car and drive 5 hours with him looking at me from the back seat, not making a sound, because he was actually waiting for me. He waited for 3 weeks, and that is a long time for a stray dog in Greece, when most of them barely last a few days after the tourists are gone. While we were driving to Athens that night, I texted the only friend who had insisted that I should go back for him and asked him to name him. "Name him Bozo," he said, "because he tormented you for so long." And I did. It only took Bozo 1 day to learn how to go down the stairs, to walk on a leash, and to get to know the city. 1 day. I didn't even have to bother with any house training, because he came house-trained on his own, like most stray dogs do, despite what people might think. And as the days went by, Bozo kept learning. He would learn a new thing every day, as if he was trying to prove to me that I had made the right choice going back for him. He became so perfect that within a week, I had people asking me on the street if I had trained him to be so obedient and so well-behaved. He would pick up new commands immediately. He fit in with my pack of dogs as if he was always a part of it, and he even got my 10-year-old snobby bitch to play with him. I even trusted him off the leash up on the mountain, and he was only the second foster dog so far that I completely trusted to come back to me on recall whenever I called him, and no matter what he was doing and what was going on around him. For Bozo, life and fun is where you are. I feel like there is a therapy dog inside him, waiting for people to realize how therapeutic he can be to their soul once they share a couple of moments next to him. He sits beside you with his soft, light fur to your disposal, as if he knows that hugging and petting him will make all your pain go away. He smiles at you and instantly puts a huge smile on your face too, no matter how difficult of a day you've had. He even has this effect on other dogs, calmly and gently submitting himself to their mood, as if he is trying with his softness to teach them that life is all about the tenderness of it. Bozo is very young. He only came into this world about a year ago, and yet it's as if he has inside him all the knowledge about how perfect dogs can be, a knowledge that comes from previous lives. I know he can make a family out there very happy, happy just walking and feeding and sitting next to him, like he makes me happy every day, with his silliness and his tenderness and his amazingly kind manners. I believe now that he crossed my path because there is a human out there that really needs him, a human that will surrender to Bozo's happiness and tenderness, that will let him in his heart and home asking one and only question: where have you been all my life? So I am only here to help them find each other. And for those few weeks I spent next to him, I will forever be grateful.